Hello and welcome back to Hares and Daffodils Homestead. Welcome to my kitchen. Welcome back to my kitchen. Today we are going to be making a popular confectionery sweet that's going to start off our 12 sweets of Christmas. Every day for the rest of this month, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we are going to be releasing a brand new sweet that we are making with you on channel. And we are going to explore simple things such as chocolate dipped pretzel rods, all the way up to homemade Southern Louisiana pralines and homemade turtles, peanut butter fudge. And what we're doing today is we are making peanut butter Buckeyes. Now, I gotta tell you guys, the first time I heard of a peanut butter Buckeye, I thought of the nut that drops off the trees that are famous in Ohio. And I'm thinking, people eat those? What's going on here? But no, if you're like me and you didn't know what on earth a Buckeye was, I had to Google it. So let me share a little bit of information here. A Buckeye is a popular Ohio candy made of a peanut butter fudge ball, partially dipped in chocolate, most notably semi-sweet chocolate, leaving a small circle of peanut butter, or like a diamond shape of peanut butter, exposed to resemble the Ohio Buckeye tree nut. So these are a no-bake treat, which is awesome. It'll be easy for you and I to make these. And it's listed as a staple for the holiday. Oops, sorry about that. It's listed as a staple for the holiday and celebration traditions. So that brings us to today. It's our ingredients are pretty simple for this no-bake treat. We need a stick of softened room temperature butter. You need some creamy, you always use Jif, some creamy peanut butter. You need some pure vanilla extract, a little bit of iodized salt. We already got our peanut butter here. We need 3 cups of confectioner sugar, powdered sugar. And then we need a bag of Toll House semi-sweet chocolate chips. Now I say Toll House because that's what I grabbed. This is not sponsored by Toll House. Toll House, hit me up. Okay, so as our first step, we're going to want to cream together our butter and make it light and fluffy and a little bit pale. So you're going to want to do that for 2 minutes. I just did that before we started recording, just so that you didn't have to listen to the mixer go for 2 minutes here. And to our butter, we're going to add our peanut butter, vanilla, and salt. And then we're going to beat this on high until it's combined. So let's get to mixing, folks. So we already have our butter in here. We need to add in our peanut butter, which I already have pre-measured out. And this recipe will be on my blog, found in the description box below, so that you can share it. You can make it, you can share it, you can print it out, you can do whatever your heart's content. I want to get every single ounce of this peanut butter out because that's all the goodness. Okay, I said peanut butter, vanilla, and salt. So we're going to add a splash of our vanilla. And then the tiniest bit, a little bit more than a dash of our salt, which I also have pre-measured out. Okay, let's get this to mix in. Okay, I didn't want you guys to listen to this mixer going on. I know it's a little bit loud. We've got our peanut butter, vanilla, salt, and butter all in our stand mixer here. I'm just going to scrape down the sides here. Make sure everything's incorporated. This smells so delicious already. We haven't even made this into balls yet to taste test it. Already smells so good. And I'm already wearing it. Okay, we're just going to let this go for another 10 or 15 seconds. It's fine. Okay, everything looks a little bit, the peanut butter has a nice pale hue to it because it's combined with the butter. It's emulsified a little bit. And so now we get to the fun part in where we add in our powdered sugar and make a cloud, a dust cloud, a sugar cloud. So I'm just going to add this in 1 cup at a time. One thing that I do want to make you aware of, when you start mixing this up, it will look a little soft and a little crumbly. So as you're making this dough, if you start to see that in your mixer, don't worry. That's perfectly normal, and that's exactly what's supposed to happen. So let me keep going here. Add in our first cup. Be back here in about 10 or 15 seconds. Okay, let's add in another cup's worth. Trying to eliminate the sugar cloud here. Okay, we're going to add in our final cup. Let me scrape down the sides while I've got this up. I'll try not to wear it this time. Between cups 1 and 2, it did start to look a little grainy, a little granular. But as I kept mixing it, it did seem to smooth out just a little bit. So I see what the instructions meant by just a little crumbly was their word that they used. All right, I've got all my sides scraped down. All right, let's get to mixing this with our third and final cup in. Alrighty, folks, I think our mix is done. It has completely pulled away from the sides of our mixture, from the sides of our bowl, which you can clearly see here. And inside the mixture itself it's still a little crumbly, although it's still, in my paddle attachment here. But I think that's a good indication that we're done here. So, oops. This is my working kitchen. It's okay. Things happen. So let me go ahead and get all this knocked out. The next step that we're going to tackle with this dough mixture is we are going to roll this into 1-inch balls. And we're going to go ahead and set it. I've got a cookie sheet here with a piece of parchment paper already crumbled up on top of it. We're going to go ahead and start to make our balls, and then we're going to place all of these balls into the fridge or freezer until they're nice and firm, which will take roughly 30 minutes depending on how cold your fridge and freezer are. So once we get that step back, here in about 30-45 minutes, we'll be back and we'll keep going, and we'll we'll make these Buckeyes start to look like actual Buckeyes. We'll be back, folks. Hello and welcome back. That was a peanut buttery 20 minutes filled of goodness. That was absolutely wonderful. Got all of our balls rolled. As you can see, we got a total of 45. I looked over the recipe and it did not give us an estimated quantity. So if you roll them in roughly 1-inch balls, you get a grand total of 45 of them. So not too shabby. We're going to go ahead and put these in the fridge and we'll check back in them in 30 to 45 minutes. Make sure they're nice and firm so that we can move on to our next step and we can get these dipped and get these looking like some official Ohio Buckeyes. Could not think of that name to save my life there for a minute. Oh my goodness. Got peanut butter on the brain, folks. Peanut butter. All right. See you back here in a bit. Hello, loves. Welcome back to the Red Hares and Daffodils Homestead Kitchen. Welcome back to our peanut butter Buckeye adventure today. We're making some peanut butter Buckeyes. We are moving on to the stage now where we still have our peanut butter Buckeyes in the fridge. They are firming, they are cooling. They've been in there for about 45 minutes to an hour, which is what we needed. And we are now going to move on to the process of tempering our chocolate so that we can enrobe or encase the Buckeyes, except for a little bit of it, into our chocolate, our semi-sweet chocolate mixture. Tempering is different than melting. The world of chocolate is so misunderstood by many, myself included. It's not something that I deal a lot with. I will be completely transparent with you in regards to that. I am not a chocolatier by any means. I do enjoy eating my fair share of chocolate, but melting it, making candies and everything, that's why it's my personal challenge to make candies. And that's why I wanted to make the 12 Sweets of Christmas this year. To temper chocolate, you're basically heating up a large portion of it to where you have a dish on your stove full of boiling water, and you put another vessel on it, a bowl, glass bowl, and you basically don't allow that boiling water in your, I've got a 3-quart heavy bottom saucepan with a glass Pyrex bowl on top. You're not allowing that bubbling water to come in contact with that bowl, with the contents of that bowl. At no point does the water get added into the chocolate. It's melting it to that degree. But tempering the chocolate is allowing it to be brought to a glossy state where once cooled, it will snap. And it firms up and it still remains glossy, and it's a beautiful state of chocolate. But melting it is just something you can do in the microwave with a little bit of coconut oil or any type of a neutral oil like that. But they're not interchangeable by any means. If you want to end up working with chocolate, please do your research, read a lot of recipes, see what the background is, in order to properly temper chocolate. It is, like I said, it is a world unto its own. But we've got our bowl on the stove right now, and it is steaming away. So I've got my bag of semi-sweet morsels here. Again, not sponsored. Don't read the name. And I'm going to add in about 2/3 of my bag and let this completely melt. When this is done melting, I'm going to add in the other 1/3 of the bag, which is going to be labeled as seed chocolate, SEED, seed chocolate, just like seeds in the garden. What we're going to go ahead and do at that point, once everything is melted, the third is incorporated in, we're going to pull it off the heat. And this process is going to move relatively fast because we don't want our chocolate to settle up or to seize up, harden up, whatever verbiage you want to use. But the seed chocolate, then that other third of the chocolate will then be melted by the residual heat of the 2/3 chocolate that we're going to put in right now and start melting. So this process does take a couple minutes, and I strongly encourage you not to leave your stove, and just let the spoon be your friend, and don't be afraid to stir. So let's get this added in. Hang on with me for just a minute. Let's get 2/3 of our chocolate added into our bowl. I think I may have overshot it by a couple morsels. So I'm gonna grab my spoon here, and we're just gonna start moving and waiting for this chocolate to melt. Alrighty, loves, we're making great progress. We are slowly melting our semi-sweet morsels, and we've got our fancy dancy candy thermometer here. Go ahead and turn that on. For tempering chocolate, per our recipe, we want to get this chocolate up to 115 degrees. So I'm going to set my tip in here, but I'm not going to let it touch the bottom of the glass bowl. Okay, so this chocolate is ready. So we'll go ahead. Will you scoop that off, please? Thank you. I've got my handy dandy helper here helping me stir the chocolate. Okay, let's go ahead and turn our stove off. Carry the camera here for a few minutes. I don't want you to burn your hands. Okay. Thank you, helper. Okay. And if you want to keep stirring, please, we're going to add in our leftover one-third chocolate, let the residual heat melt that. Sorry, I'm a little all over the place, guys. I apologize. Okay, while you're stirring that out, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video here for just a minute. I'm going to get our peanut butter Buckeyes out of the refrigerator, and we're going to start dipping here and trying to get those Buckeyes enrobed. So we'll be right back, folks. Hang on. Okay, loves, we are back. I'm going to go ahead and take our peanut butter, not blossoms, our peanut butter Buckeyes, and I'm going to drop it into the chocolate. And I'm going to use my 2 forks that I've got here, and I'm just going to try to tamp off some of that chocolate. And set it on my parchment paper here. And we're going to continue from there. We've only got 44 more of these to do. So hopefully I can move fast and we can get these taken care of quickly. Before our chocolate, hopefully our chocolate doesn't have to be remelted, or melted again. Alrighty, folks, I'll see you back when everything is enrobed. Hello, loves, welcome back. I'm covered in chocolate. I don't know about you at this point, but I'm literally covered in chocolate. I've washed my hands off a half dozen times so far, and I've gone through so many spoons, and I love it. Absolutely love it. Well, we got all 45 of our Buckeyes painted or enrobed in chocolate. This is definitely a homemade project. I must tell you, there's nothing professional that has gone on in this kitchen in the last 10 minutes, but it's all from the heart. It's all made with love, and I have enjoyed every minute of it. So we are going to continue the 12 Sweets of Christmas on Wednesday. Probably Wednesday evening, I'll post the next video. it's a surprise. So a lot of these are going to my other half's co-workers, and a couple of these will be going to family and friends, especially a lot will probably end up going to my mother and my brother, and try to break them into the Christmas spirit coming up here. So, well, from my kitchen to yours, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing this time that you have with me today. I do appreciate it. So, just hugs and loves and sweet treats. So, I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye, loves. Thanks.